back on quarantine. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, we had a concert. It was literally like 7 people in there. And, I was walking around with tea, and I was walking around with hand sanitizer. Didn't get but 6 feet next to anyone. And everyone inside had to have committed to have been quarantined for the last 7 to 12 days before. And, in my mind, I was like, wow, this shit is the new normal right now. Like, if you're going to be around somebody, it's almost like having unsafe sex, So now it was like, I remember when I was younger and, the HIV first came out, it was like, damn, it was like we got to wear condoms 100%. Condoms. And now to even give somebody a pound, you got to have like a body condom on. You know what I'm saying? You got to think like safe sex just to walk around. So now, like, we're going to have a complete appreciation for just being able to be around people freely. Like, now I look at parties and I've been like, wow, my God, I don't know how I'm going to be comfortable again at a big party or around a bunch of people. And I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because, like, I definitely got conditioned at a young age to wear a condom. And it became normal. So walking around with a shield on your face and everybody got to have hand sanitizer is going to be the new normal? Is that what it's going to be? Like, the world is just like, it goes from one infection to another. And then I'm not understanding, like, how people are really still going outside and partying after all of this. I mean, this shit is really getting real. I mean, it's already been real. People are losing lives. So what I was doing before was I was writing. I wrote, it's crazy because during this quarantine, I'm making myself do the stuff that I know I should have been doing that I just don't do, like write. And writing has been the hardest part for me for making movies because I have to get somebody to write it. And then once I get it, I usually have to direct it different and change it, and I just end up doing it on my own, and it becomes a freestyle, and that becomes the art within itself. But now, I'm going to write the scripts before I shoot them, as opposed to shooting on impulse. That's the part of me that's insane, because I just do whatever I feel. Whatever makes me feel good, I just be like, I'll work it out later. And I've been feeling that way for the last, 12 years. I don't know, it's just I got completely creative for a while where I didn't want to do anything. And I still don't want to do anything that makes me feel like I'm compromising my morals or I'm not having fun or be around people that get on my nerves. And, it's just the way I am. And it's also difficult for me sometimes to work with people that don't look at things the same way. They look at it the old way. And I'm like, yo, why do you want to work with me if you want to do things the old way? I don't do anything the old way. If you come with me, you should expect or be disappointed if it's not done different, So I've been writing. So I've been writing Honor Up Part 2. And I wrote like 2 episodes of Dress to Kill. And I wrote this Harlem story. I'm not even going to let the cat out the bag, but an OG that I respect a lot. I gave him his word I would make his movie, and I want to get it done. So another thing is I'm a man of my word, and that means everything to me. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I have to do it, or else it just doesn't sit well with me, and I got to do it correctly. I got to do it right. And a lot of people don't live by that code or those codes either. You know what I mean? And then, what do you do in a world where everyone, I'm looking at people outside not taking this serious, and I'm like, this is the silliness that I be trying to avoid with the rest of the world. They would call me, I remember when I first started isolating, people was laughing at me like I'm bugging, And then Now everyone's taking it serious, or not everyone, but people are. But then there are still people that don't take it serious. These are the people that I try to protect myself against every day, that are so unhappy with their lives that they don't care if something happens to them. And they don't care if they have other people affected by what they do. And I've actually made my life almost like in a bubble to where I can protect myself from people that will hurt themselves because they don't like themselves, and don't mind hurting the rest of the world because they don't like themselves. And that's the worst part about people that don't love themselves. They don't love anyone else. They have no care about anyone else. But self-preservation and selfishness is what really kills the whole world, you know? And I don't see why people can't just sit home for a little while. Or at least architect things to where they're safe. Like, you know, you got to go to the store. You know what I mean? And then, you know, in these times, you see who really, you know, feels like you're responsible for them. You know what I mean? It's like, in this moment, we're adults. We all have to handle things on our own. That's what adults do. But a lot of people expect you to handle their problems despite you have your own, just because you've been strong. And, you know, I'm there for people, no matter what. But I'm never going to hurt myself to help others. It makes no sense. And one-way relationships, I'm so done with that, man. I'm so sick of people expecting you to do everything for them, but then they don't have any support for you at all. But these are the things you ponder on when you're sitting around not doing so much. But on another note, I'm also taking this time to get stronger. I mean, there's no way I'm going to come out of this weaker. I have to come out of this stronger. And I feel like that's how everyone should be thinking. How am I going to make myself better all day? How am I going to come out and figure out how to deal with life as it exists and do things different? And if anybody's in a situation they don't like right now, like, yo, you know, you don't like the way you living, you don't like that you're not prepared, your money might not be right, then this is the time to think about how to make things different when we come back outside. How are you going to change things? Because there's no way that you could possibly think that you're going to come out of this and things are going to be completely the way they were. The way we existed before is over. And it's not like it's going to be a terrible existence. It's just going to be a different existence. And some people get stuck in a pattern like, yo, if it's different, it's bad. If I'm used to doing something a certain way, then I have to continue to do it regardless of whether it's the best thing for me or not. You know, people are so afraid of change. Don't be afraid of change. You have to embrace the change. And you have to figure out how to capitalize off a situation that everyone is panicking about. So for me, when I see everybody doing one thing, it means I got to do another. So if I see everybody panicking and scared, I'm not going to not be cautious. I'm just not going to panic or be scared. I'm going to just tighten up. And this is the time to tighten up, to get your shit together, to think about your dreams and how to make a dream a reality. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, like, people think their dreams are unattainable. Anything you dream, anything you can visualize in your brain, you can make it happen. And my whole life, that's what I've been doing. I've been visualizing what I want to happen, and then it happens. You know? And it works for me. But I don't expect it to come to me. I visualize it. And then while I'm visualizing it, I'm visualizing what it's going to take to make it happen. How much work it's going to take. The problems or the defining moments that are going to come with it. The challenges that are going to come with it. And to also know not to let those challenges bother me or deter me from actually making my dream happen. So, like, I think what happens is people start dreaming, and then when they start thinking about what it takes, they go, fuck it, and they get tired. But how can you get tired dreaming? Think it through. It's no physical energy in visualizing what you want. So if you want a big house, go look at that house, see how much it costs, and then you say, I got to make this much to buy that house. Then you start figuring out what you can sell to make this much to buy that house. And then you figure out how much of it you have to sell to make this much to buy that house. And then you figure out how long you think it's going to take step by step to make the product, to sell the product, and then to make the money, and then go buy that motherfucking house. So you might say, all right, this house costs, $5 million. 20% of $5 million is $1 million. So you got to make $1 million. And then you figure out what your monthly note is going to be, so $5 million, that's a 315 taxes. So you're about $16,000, $17,000 a month. So you need $1 million, and you need to be able to maintain about 20 racks a month. How you going to do that? So then you figure out what exactly you can sell, what you love to do that other people would relate to, that they could buy, that you could make. And then you figure out how to package it, and then you figure out how to market it, and then you figure out how to sell it. And it's a step thing. It doesn't happen overnight. And that's another thing you have to embrace. That dreams don't happen overnight. The only thing that happens in a nighttime with a dream is the dream, right? You'll dream that night, then you'll wake up. That's it. But when you have the dream, it's going to take years for your dream. Like if you have a real dream, your dream's not going to happen overnight, period. It's going to take years. And then you have to figure out what you're going to do while you're getting to that dream. Like you still have to sustain, you still got to live. So it's like, all right, I'm going to do this to pay my bills. I'm going to invest this much in my dream. And I'm going to work this hard, which is every single day, all day long, until this dream comes true. And what happens is little things happen, because it's like a dream is like a war. And within a war, there's a lot of little battles. And you might lose a couple of battles, and you learn from those battles. You might look like you're losing a battle because you're taking a break. But at the end of the day, it's about winning the war. So you might lose 3 battles, but win 7. And every time you win a battle, it feels like you won the war. So you're still getting that V. You're still getting that inspiration, like, yo, I did it. I did something. You know what I mean? It's like if you're an artist and your dream is to sell platinum, once you get on the radio or you stream, that's one dream that came true. It feels like you just went platinum. And you're a step to getting to your dream, which is going platinum. And then you almost know what you're going to buy when you go platinum. But the thing is, you ain't going to make no money when you go platinum. You're going to make money when you do your show. See, that's another thing about a dream. Like, you have to figure out how that dream actually makes you money. So some people be like, yo, I'm in the clothing business. And I'll be like, well, how are you going to make money from that? And they don't understand what a fashion brand means and what it takes to be on a calendar. And to, even though there's a direct to consumer relationship right now, but traditionally, you got to be on a calendar. You got to buy goods ahead of time. It's not an easy thing. It's not just about putting prints on blanks. It's about cut and sew and things like that. Or I might ask somebody, or somebody might say, yo, I want to be in a movie. Why? Do you like acting? No, I just like being famous. And let me ask you a question. How are you going to make your money being an actor? Because people think because you're an actor, you're rich. Bro, if you're an actor and, you might catch one role, you get paid, and you might not even know if that role is going to, be huge. It's your first time, so you don't get paid a lot. It's a work for hire. The fucking movie gets big, and then, everyone thinks you're rich, and you might think you're rich, but if no one else hires you, then you ain't gonna make no more money. And there's only a couple of slots in Hollywood for a certain amount of actors. And the rest, whether they had a movie role or not, in between that, they don't work. So it's not an easy thing. Or you might think because you get a hit record, you're going to be rich for life. Nah, you're only going to be rich as long as that record is cracking and you get paid to do a show. But 10 years later, you old. Nobody wants to see that shit no more. And there's other people younger than you that are doing it. And now that's your competition. And you went from the young nigga to the old man in the club. You know what I mean? So you have to always understand what your dream is, how you going to make money from it, and how much money it's really going to make, and how long that money could really last. You know what I'm saying? That's important too. And at the end of the day, it can't be about money. See, if you're going to do something that you're going to have to do for the rest of your life, you might as well enjoy it. You know what I mean? If you don't enjoy it, then it's going to be torture. And if you're only doing it for money, then you're really going to hate yourself. And if you do anything just for money, then you shouldn't even be mad at how unhappy you are. You should be happy that you're unhappy. At least you got money and you're unhappy. But anything for just money is, to me, like, money's like the test. Money's the shit that makes you do things that you wouldn't do, that you don't believe in. It's the test. Money's only here to be a test. That's why I really don't do anything just solely for money now. What I do, I'm going to monetize. I'm going to get money for it. But I'm not just going to do it for the money. I'm not going to do something that I don't believe in. I'm not going to pretend that I use something I don't and get paid for that. I'm not going to co-sign something that I don't fuck with for $1. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about me. That's the stuff that they resent. They're like, yo, how could he just say no? Like, how did he just walk away from the music business at the top of it all? Like, nobody could ever take nothing from me. I just didn't want to do it no more. I wanted to do fashion. I wanted to open up art galleries. I wanted to make movies. I didn't want anyone to pay for my movies. It's just my dreams. You see, my dreams, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So first I dreamed about having a record label. I was like a teenager. I did it, relatively fast. Then I dreamed about having like a fashion company. But like Rockwell was a big company and it was clothing, but it wasn't like fashion. So I did the Rachel Roy. I did that. Then I just like, fuck it. I want to just chill. Actually, I tried to make electric cars with Malcolm Bricklin for a little while, but then the recession hit. And then I said, fuck it, man. I'm going to just do galleries for a while and do art, because I had the money invested in the Rachel Roy, and that shit was on cruise control until they started robbing me. And then, and that's when I was able to just like kind of cultivate culture and do the DD-172s all around the world and travel to Charleston. And that's when I actually fell in love with a woman that really loves me. A woman I'm happy with. I fall in love with her more and more every day. And the shit bugs me out. You know what I mean? I wonder where she's at. So, take this time to think about what you really love, what you would do for free, and then figure out how to make that your business model. And figure out how to, the world's going to move different. Figure out how the world's going to move. Let me see, Shannon. Oh, look, see, I love this. She in there. You doing yoga? I'm on live. Yeah. All right. I love just peeking in. I knew she was doing something productive. See, that's why I fucks with her. Because she's always trying to improve herself. She's in there doing yoga, breathing, cooking, And the thing about, like, a man to be like, yo, I want this kind of woman, blah, blah, blah. You can't get this kind of woman unless you're that kind of man. So if you're not a king that's going to make your queen's dreams come true, you can't expect her to be your dream if you're not hers. It has to be a fair exchange. You know what I'm saying? And I think, based on what women tell me, a lot of dudes don't understand that. They just expect to be taken care of, like a woman supposed to be your mother and all that. And it's like, nah, And on another note, when you become a man, you should want to take care of your mother. You don't want to be taken care of. You don't want no girl taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how I was raised. Those are my morals and my principles. You know what I'm saying? Like, my woman shouldn't have to work. She should be able to just sit around and do yoga. And, when there's an epidemic like this, she should be like, damn, that means you're staying home, and be happy about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you stuck with your girl right now, y'all driving each other crazy, hold your head. That's what I would say. So, right now, boom, that's what I do. I'm getting myself together. I'm going to make myself work out in a minute. I didn't work out today, But I always go into the hot room. See, because I be getting high and shit. So you want to go into like a steam room and sweat that shit out. But I got to put the rocks on. So I got to set it. So I was just setting it so after I work out, it'd be nice and hot. You know what I'm saying? So, yesterday we did the T Grizzly show, and we did it in a very safe way. And we have Dress to Kill, new scripted. Big deals are happening on the sidelines. I'm not even going to speak about them, but whew, my dreams. It's crazy because in the middle of everybody's nightmares, my dreams are coming true. And in my brain, I'm like, yo, all I got to do is stay safe and stay focused. You know what I'm saying? And then we got the Yah Squad. We've introduced them into the Dame Dash Studios family, and they graciously have accepted me in theirs. And they got an army of positive soldiers and generals. And the bishop is off the hook. He's like a madman for love. And then pause. And then Taj has Healing is Gangster. And this week I think we're gonna release a bunch of episodes of that. And I'm editing the second episode of Dress to Kill. And I'm writing Honor Up Part 2. See, what I'm doing now is just like I've started these brands, you know. So like State Property and Paid in Full, and all those are brands. And I could do Part 2s and Part 3s, and I could do those forever. And I will at some point. But it just, for me, it's just like kind of reminds me of a lot of the older things I was doing. But I built these new franchises like Honor Up and you know, Dress to Kill. These are brand new. I mean, that's just how I be, man. I don't know. Old work bothers me sometimes. I don't like to always go back to the old shit. I'll reference it so you can understand who you're talking to, but I'm not banking on that. I'm not trying to sell old work. You know, I don't love selling old work. That's not what I do. And that's another thing is it's cool to do things and be known and respected for what you did in the past. But to me, you're not truly hot unless you're selling something today, you know? You gotta be, it's about like a real successful, if you're really hot, that means you're just always selling good shit, not like once every 10 years. It means you're selling shit every day for the last 10 years. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Like the CEO. Like the CEO. Gotta remake those. Blood sugar's a little low. I got some orange juice. Yeah, so that's my thing is, yeah, it's cool. I did a lot of stuff for the last 20 years or 20 years ago. But what I'm going to do now? What I just gave you yesterday. This is the best orange juice in the world. You know, that's what it's about. What I'm going to do today. What I'm going to do tomorrow. What's my work looking like now? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I be so excited about being like, yo, here's a TV show that I directed and made the music, or here's a new album. Also, I got a new album coming out. Actually, I made like 3-4 rock albums. I made an album with Angel. Her shit is crazy. Nicolette made an album. So, and there's so many other interesting things. Like since the quarantine, you know, I've engaged in starting like 2 or 3 new kinds of businesses that I've been, you know, looking at doing. Like so many more opportunities are presenting themselves. So when I talk to my friends, we talking about what's the opportunity at, what's going on, how are we going to get this money, or you know, what are we going to do to capitalize and make sure that, you know, we straight as soon as this is over, like better than straight. You know what I mean? You know, nobody's scared, everybody's excited. You know, and in every business, in every industry, everyone's excited. So in the streaming business for me, we're excited because everyone's home, everyone's watching, all my numbers are up. And the fashion thing, I was just, you know, I've been designing for a while. We've been putting things together. And, you know, certain situations have, just based off this, have presented themselves, you know? And us doing, you know, live concerts, you know, that just, you know, that happened because of Corona. So because of Corona, some opportunities should be presenting themselves. You just have to look at them and figure out what they are. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how I see things. And if you home, practice your art. Just get better. Everyone needs a break. You know, most professionals, when they do a season, they take, you know, they work for 6 months, and they take 6 months off. You know, how many actors make 3 or 4 movies a year? You'd be like, yo, you crazy. Most actors, you know, they make a movie, work hard the whole year, then they take a year off. And then when it's time to work, they focus 100%. When it's time to focus, you focus. When you're a boxer, you go to training camp before the fight, and then you fight, and then you take off for like 6 months to a year. Some fighters don't fight for a year and a half. So maybe look at this as that like takeoff that you never got to do. And also, what's crazy? Everyone's panicking because, generally speaking, everyone thinks they have to be doing something all day or the world won't run. And I think what people are starting to see is, we sitting home, the world is still running. Life isn't bad. Nobody's like disintegrating into the thin air, So maybe, people can understand, maybe I don't have to be outside all day running around. Maybe I'm not missing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if things are cool. Like I realized that when I went to Hawaii, I was like, man, shit is going on. I'm getting mad work down. I'm on the beach in the other side of the world. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't have to be outside or as accessible as I think or running around. Shit could really still go on when, when you're sitting in the house. So maybe take this time and be like, I don't have to be outside all day. I could really get money in the house. I just got to figure it out. But if you're not thinking about it, that's when you're playing yourself. Like if you're just complaining and you think you got a problem and you're not trying to think of like 10 different solutions. Like if you have a problem, make up 10 solutions. I bet one of them will work. You know what I'm saying? There's always a solution for a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see things. There's always a solution. Everything always works itself out. But when you panic, that's when you run into a wall. That's when you drop something that somebody else picks up. And it's going to be me. I'll pick it up. Because, when everyone's bugging, people are fumbling all day. And you got to pick it up and run and get that touchdown. When people are panicking, you got to just stay calm. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see things. And, again, there's always light in the dark. There's a yin and a yang. There's always a good and a bad. Out of every bad situation, there's some good shit. Just like out of every good situation, there usually was some bad shit. You know what I mean? They both have to exist so you could compare one to the other. You wouldn't know about good if there was no bad. You wouldn't know what it felt like. You'd have nothing to compare it to. If there were no bad guys out there, then I wouldn't be looked at as a good guy. What's funny, before all the bad guys got revealed, everyone was saying I was a bad guy. It's because y'all didn't know who the bad guys were. Now that y'all know who the bad guys are, I'm the good guy. And I'm only a bad guy to the bad guys, to the people that I'm letting the world know, watch out for this one. He trying to rob you. Watch out for this one. He trying to exploit the culture. Watch out. Actually, for all artists, do it this way. I don't know if people were rocking with me 10 years ago when I was saying you should be independent and you should invest in yourself and fight to own your masters and equity in the things that you're working for. People thought I was nutty. The people that were really trying to stop me from speaking, which you can't, because it's legal to speak and I'm not saying anything negative, were the people that were robbing people. They're like, don't tell everybody we robbing them, then they won't let us rob them anymore. I'm like, why would I do that? Why I can't just sit here and let y'all rob everybody? You're definitely not robbing me. Matter of fact, you tried to rob me. I'm going to make an example out of you trying to rob me so everyone else knows that you're a thief, that you're not the truth, and that's really how I get down. And again, I ain't going to just be talking shit. I'm going to keep giving y'all work, I'm not going to be just talking. I got to be walking that. So as I'm talking, the only reason why I'm confident about being on live right now is because yesterday I did something that was different, because I did a live concert yesterday. And the day before that, I released a scripted TV show. And the day before that, I released an album or a music video or some more content. Every single day, I'm doing something. Every single day, I'm productive. I'm not just talking, And a lot of people do that. They just be talking to fucking distract you from the fact that they're not doing shit. And when I hear people talking, I'm like, I could dig it. You talking, but where's the action? I need to see that work you talking about. I don't want to hear about what everybody's not doing and everybody's robbing and shit if you're not doing nothing. I don't feel like I could talk any talk unless I was really putting things out daily. I couldn't talk about business unless I was in business, And a lot of the people that do a lot of the loudest talking are the ones that are on the sideline not doing shit. And those are the ones that try to convince you not to do shit. And those are the ones you have to know how not to listen to, period. You know what I mean? That's just how I see it, period. And there's definitely always something to do, you know, always something to do. And that's what I'm sitting around like. It ain't nothing, there's not one day that I've been bored. Not one day. And if I do feel bored, I'll be mad at myself. Like, you're bored, go get to work, bro. There's somebody to call, you know. There's some movie to watch to get inspiration from, or there's something to write, or there's something to edit, or there's always something to do, you know. There's a my blood sugar's low. There's a thing on your Instagram that tells you how much you want to Instagram a day. If you want to Instagram for hours, then you should be like, all right, cool, I'm on Instagram. I don't know why I'm on Instagram for so long, but in those moments, what other things could you be doing? Or when you're on Instagram, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, are you just looking at gossip, or are you looking at things? Because Instagram is dope to me because I see a lot of news. I get a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I also can see a lot of the gossip. I'm like, damn, I look at it. I'm not going to lie. But then I go and look at something else. So I'll be like, I do want to know what everyone's saying, but I also want to know exactly what's really going on behind the scenes, or I want to look at something that's going to make me better. So, you know, again, Instagram could be a complete disaster for people, where they look at other people, where they're acting like they're doing well, makes people feel insecure, less of themselves. Or you could look at, and that's if you take it personal, or you could look at Instagram as business. You know, a way to distribute the information that you're trying to monetize, a way to make a connection with your consumer. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it makes sense. But that's that thing where there's a good and a bad and everything. Some people will take the bad and completely let it ruin their lives. And some people will look at it and turn it into a business model and know how to monetize it. You know? And that's, you know, that's the challenge. You know, being a soldier or being a general. You know what I mean? Period. And, yeah, I guess that's about it. So I felt like we kicked it for a minute today. And I appreciate everyone listening, you know, and kicking it with me. I'm going to go work out. I've been trying to put these socks on, my Blue Rock socks. And that's another thing is I make socks for every single mood and everything that I love. I just like making socks. I don't know why. I always like having my own socks. So before I used to go buy NBA socks, and I definitely was the guy that was like, I only wear socks once and throw them out. And I was like, well, it would probably make a lot more economic sense, and I'd make a better sock if I just go to the plug, a manufacturer, and make my own socks. So I got socks for Blue Rock. I got, you know, Dusko got socks. Governor got, everybody got socks. You know, I just made socks for the Black Guns. You know what I mean? Everything gets socks. And I make them in America, too. And, yeah. So look out. Go to Dame Dash Studios. Check out the content. Give me a shot. Like, if you got Netflix, if you took the time to get Netflix, I really feel like take the time to give me as an independent one of us a shot and see if they better than me. You know what I mean? And also, look at the evolution. So, like, if anybody was rocking with me a year ago, they'd be like, damn, this shit has really grown from a year. And a year from now, it's going to be so much better. And everything that I do has to be better than what I did. It makes no sense to be dope and then be whack. If you dope, then you got to be doper. You know what I'm saying? You can't go from coach to first class and then go back to coach. That doesn't make any sense. You know, if you ride first class once, then it should be, that's it. There's no going backwards. Backwards is the ocean. You go backwards, you die, you drown. You always push forward. So that's my commitment, is to make sure that the content that you see from now on is better than anything that you saw. And I'm going to sit here while God has closed the planet down for a little while, for whatever reason God wanted to, and it was probably a positive one, even though it looks negative. And hopefully none of us get into collateral damage of that. We stay safe and conscious. But while this is happening, I'm sharpening my sword. I'm going to get better. the people around me, because also the people around me that have been working with me have not been affected economically because we can continue to work. People in my bubble are still getting paid. It's just business as usual for us. So another thing that I'm loving about right now, if I can find something to love about right now, is that even in a pandemic, whatever you call that, what's it called, pandemic? Even in a pandemic, the block can still click. Our block can click. We've made it where we've architected our business model where no matter what's going on, the block can click. So I can sit in the house for 2 months and still give you new work every single day. You know, my business model is actually, it's like while everybody else is not working, I'm getting ahead because I still have the ability to work. And I'm not going to take that for granted. I didn't build this infrastructure so that when something like this happens, not to use it. Now I'm going to really use the infrastructure. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you're going to see all this work. And if you haven't taken the time to look at it, because it's like, oh, it's Dame, I know it's Dame. Just take the time to check it out. I bet you're going to be surprised. I bet you it's going to bug you out how much content is up there, how good the content is, how many different people have participated in the content, and feel real cool about that you're first and you're up on this in the very beginning. I remember when HBO started, you know, I'm old, you see the platinum, but I remember when HBO started and it was just the little thing on the back of the TV that you slid at one channel, wasn't no cable. And look what built around that. But I was like always kind of, I felt, you know, ahead of the game because I knew my father had it first. I had HBO first. I was able to tell my friends about it. I was able to pull my friend's coat. Like, you don't know about HBO? You got to get the thing in the back. Well, that's what this is. You don't know about Dame Dash Studios, DDS, and Relax? All this new content, therapy, and cooking shows, and all this shit? It's that kind of thing. And then when it blows up, you be like, man, I was there first. You know, I've been rocking with Dame Dash. I've been knowing about the future. Get your man, man. He's crazy. The baby. You know? And that's another thing, you know, I want to make sure that my girl got puppies around her and flowers and all kind of fluffy animals, and there's nothing but happiness around. You know what I mean? You know, that's the world and the bubble that I created. You got to make your environment fly. You got to make your environment cushy and comfortable. And that's what real wealth is. Like, if you only living good outside your house, like you only got good clothes and a good car, and you only feel good when you're not at home, then you got to get your life together. You know what I mean? It's like you're supposed to feel the best when you at the house. You know, like me, when I got to go out now, I remember before, I'd be so hyped to go out. But really, you know, even though my cribs were always decent, you know, I just was, you know, I didn't make the environment as fun as I wanted it to be where I didn't want to go out. So you got to make your crib, your environment so much fun that you have no desire to go to a club. Like, damn, like every time I go out, I be like, I'm ready to go home. Because I can't do what I want to do when I'm out. You know, I can't, you know, I usually do, but you got to worry about smoking and, you know, people be fucking with you and shit. You know, you can't, you know, you just people, you know, now you got to worry about corona. See, you know, I'm glad that I toned my lifestyle down or got used to staying in or not being around people because, look, I'm sure if this was 10 years ago, I would have caught this shit. Because I was outside every day in New York, every day. And I definitely for sure thought I was invincible, you know? So I definitely, and I'd be like, that was my thing. I used to go out every single night. I remember in New York, about 2010. Actually, it was about 10 years that every single day I went out. And that's crazy. Every night I went out. You know, every day, you know, it was like a circle of people that went out. And you know what's crazy is 10, 20 years later, a lot of those people are still going out every single day. And I remember having those conversations with them like, yo, how long are you going to do this shit for? It gets corny after a while going to the club every single day. Like, that's thirst. Who wants to be thirst every single day? Don't you get sick of this shit? And yeah, everybody, I will stop, blah, blah. And it's like 20 years later, and I'm seeing the same people that was laughing at the older people in the club now become the old motherfuckers in the club. So that's another thing I never will be, is the person I was laughing at when I was younger. I'll never be that guy. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy I'm not going to be. You know, I remember being younger, be like, yo, get your old ass out the club. Why you trying, you know, you look crazy. Go hang out with somebody else. And stop giving me opinions. You too old to tell me how to act. I'm young. Or to tell, you know what I mean? Let me go through my thing the way I'm supposed to go through my thing. And then I see those same people that used to be like, yo, you old and leave me alone and da-da. Motherfuckers dress funny, be outside when they shouldn't, and doing all the shit they was laughing at people at. Like, don't ever become the person that you laughing at. And the crazy thing is you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to make sure I'm not constantly becoming that. But I just remember the things that used to bother me about people when I was younger. And now that I'm older, I'm not gonna be that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be that. For real. Now I don't be at the club. So anyway, again, every time I say I'm gonna get off, I'm gonna get off. But I'm gonna get off now, pause. I did what I had to do. So look out. I got the new video for Line 'em Up, Black Guns. Came out yesterday. The T Grizzly show, we're gonna edit that up, put that out for y'all so y'all can see it if you missed the live stream. And check out Dress to Kill. Check out the Yard Squad. Check out Health is Wealth. Check out We Went To. You know, check out the Yoga. Check out America New is popping. You know, check out Boss Talks. Boss Talks is ill. You know, that's when my homies that I respect just come in to talk. I feel like people should actually see what bosses really talk about. So that's why you'll see conversations with like me and Master P and Jason Jeter and, you know, other people that you wouldn't even know that are bosses that I respect as bosses. Like a lot of bosses don't say what they doing. Like a chameleonaire, you know what I mean? He doing a lot shit like that on the tech side. So again, as I learn, I try to teach. And I appreciate y'all listening, taking me serious. And, you know, I went to Jamaica. We went to Jamaica. Me and Sizzler, I went to Sizzler Spot and all that. Appreciate that. Abnormal Behavior say love my movies. You know what I mean? Posted on all your page and links. I thought I did. You know? All right, y'all. I'm out.